Hey y'all, Kenny here with my Thompson Center Encore. Thanks for joining me. One of the main selling points for the Encore platform is the interchangeable barrel system. And with the scope mounted to the barrel, theoretically, you could swap barrels and still maintain zero. And now, being the old codger that I am, and based on the fact that I've taken quite a few rifles down, put them back together, I was a little skeptical of how well that would work. Now, I've had an Encore for some time, but I have two frames. One dedicated to the centerfire barrel that I hunt with, and one to the muzzleloader barrel. I will tell you that the muzzleloader barrel holds zero well enough after being taken out of the frame for its range. Now, I originally intended to do this as part of my accuracy tip number 7, but that video's running a little long. I'll get that finished soon, so I just decided to do this as a standalone video. I'm using my 223 barrel to see if this thing will hold zero when I disassemble and reassemble it. I'm using this barrel because it has all of my deluxe improvements. I have the rubber on the barrel lug that keeps this thing tight down in the frame. Also on the barrel pin, I have felt on either side. These are the little bumpers that go on cabinet doors. I put a little contact adhesive on there to keep them in place better. I use a razor blade to trim them down so that the ears of the forearm fit tight on the pin, and it keeps it centered up. It's been working well for me. Also, this barrel I had to recrown. It had some damage to the lands down in the barrel, and I did this in the drill press. If you haven't seen that video, check out my DIY barrel recrown. Don't want to fail to mention this scope. I told you guys in tip number 2 not to put a cheap scope on your Encore, and here I am with a Conus shot on this rifle, about as cheap as it gets. I got this scope with a CVA. Couldn't hit a bull in the behind twice with this thing when it was new. I've since taken it apart and refurbished it myself, and it's an accurate little scope, although the glass is still not very good. The only reason I have it on here is I had a Nikon P223 that bit the dust. The group did move, but only about 1/4 of an inch, and that could be due to the fact that I didn't torque the forearm screws. I don't have a torque wrench that will read that low. I'm just barely compressing those O-rings between the forearm and the barrel. But I am really impressed because that barrel was zeroed on another frame. I wanted to go all in for the test, so I changed out the shim behind my firing pin bushing to get my head space correct and shot that first group, and I knew everything was going to be good. So obviously, in the distances that I'm going to shoot at an animal, I would be confident in taking this out of the safe and assembling it and heading to the woods. Of course, if I were going out west where I might be shooting 500 yards or so, I'd spend time with my rifle before I did that. So guys, I'm almost finished with my Encore accuracy tip number 7. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and do that now. And thanks again for watching.